The sky has fallen for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I might be exaggerating a little bit, but we just dropped a game to the Warriors, 127 to 116. We were coming back there for a little bit, but there was something that happened in the beginning of this game that kind of has me going that the sky has fallen a little bit. That was Chet Holmgren getting injured in the first quarter of the game, leaving us without any centers on this squad. And this is probably going to be the case for at least a week, as the injury didn't look great. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to buffer it with you guys. It looked gruesome on the screen, all right? He fell from pretty high up, pretty hard on the ground, exactly on his hip, just right on it, was holding it, couldn't put any weight on it, all right? We haven't gotten any word about him, so that probably is, I want to say it's a good sign, considering an x-ray scan would have shown immediately if he broke something in his hip. So that is good news. Now we're just waiting on some deeper scans for like ligaments or anything like that. I'm assuming he's going to be fine. 1 to 2 weeks he's going to be out. It's going to be tough a little bit, but there are teams that we're playing that have guys out with injury as well, so it's going to be an even matchup. It's just going to be tough getting through this kind of week or two stretch without any backup centers. But the good news is, in 2 weeks, Isaiah Hartenstein could be back. He's going to be reevaluated and see if he can go. If that's the case, if he's good to go, we get Chet and Hartenstein back and potentially Kenrich Williams as well. So you got to look at the positives with this. There are also some other positives in this game, like being down 30 at one point to coming back and making it a 6-point game in the fourth quarter. That's a positive we got to look at. Some guys had some good outings as well. So we're going to look at all that going into that. Try to stay positive for you guys. But I don't want to say we need to worry, but I get why we would be worrying right now about Chet Holmgren. I would. But with that out of the way, I just want to go ahead and mention that if you guys like the content we do here and you want to support the channel and you don't know how, I just want to tell you the best way that you can is just by hitting that subscribe button. With that out of the way, we'll get into this video, a little post-game reaction for you guys. And like I mentioned, all right, I meant to show this earlier, but this is, this is what happened. It was on an Andrew Wiggins drive where he was contesting it. That simple. That was all it was. And boom, he just hit the floor hard. All right. And that's all it was. I feel like we would have known if something was broken by now. And so I think that's a good sign that the fact that we haven't heard anything is just waiting on some other scans. Mark Daigneault didn't go into detail after the game either about it. So I'm looking at the positives. I feel like we would know if it was broken by now. I feel like we would have. Now I feel like we're just waiting on some deeper scans. But looking at the box scores and everything, all right, there are positives we can take away. All right, we'll look at Golden State's box score first. All right, why not? They had a crazy game shooting. I feel like some of that was because we didn't have Chet Holmgren to hold it down low, and so they were just attacking and driving in on us the entire time afterwards. That's what they were doing. I saw it in the second and third quarter while watching. They were just attacking the rim because they knew we didn't have any rim protection. Now they had the size advantage. Going into this game, they didn't. They don't really have a true center on their team either, all right? Or at least at the moment. We do in Isaiah Hartenstein, all right? But with Chet Holmgren, he was acting as our center when really he's more of a 4, but he can play the center position quite well, and he has been this season. So we had the size advantage going in. We were really going to rely on that. But now we couldn't when Chet went out. And so you could see from the shooting numbers, 50% from the field, all right? 48% from 3. And we know Golden State's a great three-point shooting team, but I feel like without Chet Holmgren to hold it down low and help out a little bit, they just started shooting the ball great against us, all right? We saw it with Steph Curry right here, boom, 13 of 23 from the field, 7 of 13 from 3. He killed us today. He truly did, all right? He was the guy that beat us. You also have Draymond Green, who knocked down 2 3-pointers, all right? They were wide open threes. It was one of those scenarios where it's like, he's wide open. He's not a good three-point shooter. We'll let him shoot it, all right? If we get beat by Draymond Green somehow having a great shooting night, so be it, all right? And then another guy like Andrew Wiggins, not a bad night from either, 6 of 14. He dropped 18, plus 21, and plus minus for him. All right. Melton, not bad at all. He's been really good for the Warriors, 5 of 8. And guys like Jonathan Kuminga, who shot the ball really well. Buddy Hield. Those guys, they just, lights out shooting. And mainly from Steph Curry is what it was. I look at Steph Curry, Kuminga, and Melton were the 3 guys that really killed us today when I looked at it. But it's fine, all right? So what, we lost. It's fine. We got to look at the positives. That fourth quarter stretch was great from us, all right? We outscored them there. We also outscored them in the first quarter as well. Granted, Chet Holmgren played like 5 minutes in that first quarter, and so that definitely helped us out a little bit. But That fourth quarter, we really came back, defense locked in, shooting locked in, especially Cason Wallace. And speaking of him, we'll go ahead and go into our box score now as well, all right? Like I mentioned, Chet Holmgren only played 5 minutes, so he couldn't really impact, but he did have 4 rebounds in 5 minutes. So I was expecting it to be a big game and him really be the difference maker for us. And then unfortunately, he went out with injury. Dub, good game from him. He just couldn't knock down a three-pointer. He only shot 2, couldn't knock it down. 9 of 15 from the field, 20 points though. 4 assists, 3 boards, and 4 blocks from him. However, he had 4 turnovers. Same with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 6 of 17 from the field. Not a great shooting night from him. Didn't make a single 3. 24 points, 4 turnovers as well, and wasn't doing much defensively. All right, he did have 5 boards and 4 assists. He got on the line 14 times, made 12 of those. It's nice to see him finally getting back to the line. I know we're going to get the free throw merchant comments back because of it, but that is one of his best aspects of his game, so he might as well capitalize off of it, is my thought process. Aaron Wiggins got the start tonight, and he went 3 of 4 from 3. I'll take that, but I feel like Cason Wallace is, solidifying himself as a starter. If you guys saw the video that I did before this one, I talked about how I think Cason Wallace is like the for sure 5th starter now with how he's been playing. I feel like this game kind of, hinted at that as well when we saw how he played compared to Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins against a team which really has been, turning a lot of heads so far here in the Western Conference that could be a title contender if they keep up on this pace. No telling how that's going to go, though. But like I mentioned, Aaron Wiggins, 3 of 8, 3 of 4 from deep. Other than that, wasn't really doing much. Minus 18 in the plus-minus. Lou Dort, I think he played solid. 6 of 11, 3 of 6 from behind the field, or 3 of 8, my bad, read that wrong. 6 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Overall, solid night from him, I feel like. Dylan Jones got substantial amount of minutes, which doesn't surprise me considering he's technically our backup center, if you want to say that. I don't really agree with that. I feel like Ousmane Dieng, when he was in, yes, his shot wasn't there. However, defensively, rebounds, and just confidence-wise, he looked ready. And I'll take that from him. That's been the biggest complaint of me for Ousmane Dieng is the fact he hasn't had confidence. Tonight against an established veteran Warriors team, a lot of guys that have won championships on that squad, he looked very confident, composed, and poised. And I'll take that from him. Yes, he didn't shoot the ball great, all right? But he was doing other things like being confident and finished with a +4 in the plus-minus there. Alex Caruso fell back into a little shooting slump, 1 of 5, 0 of 3 from deep. He had 2 wide-open three-pointers he just missed. Back iron misses. Looks like he's putting too much on it. I have confidence he's going to find it. And like I mentioned, with a big man on this team, he will shoot the ball well. We've seen it in Chicago. We saw it in the preseason. When he has someone sending him screens off ball for a catch and shoot, he is very, very good. All right? He did have 3 boards, 4 assists, and 1 steal there. A clutch steal that translated to a transition dunk to spark us a little bit. Isaiah Joe, 3 of 7, 3 of 6 from deep. He had a decent outing as well, +8 in the plus-minus, 10 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, but no defensive stats. He could get better defensively. He's not bad, but he could improve. Cason Wallace, a guy that I feel like played very well, turning a lot of heads this year, and like I mentioned, should be that 5th starter. Played 30 minutes tonight, 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from deep, 2 of 2 from the line. He had 2 boards, no assists though. Defensively, he was locking up Curry. He forced a lot of turnovers. Yes, he did finish with a -3 in the plus-minus there. However, he was forcing turnovers. They're not going to count as steals or blocks, but hustle stats. All right? And offensively, he looked really solid, and I think he should be that 5th starter. I feel like it would have been better off if he started this game as well. And then A.J. Mitchell, once again, great outing from him. A.J. Mitchell is looking like one of the best rookies in this draft class, and he was a 2nd-round draft pick, all right? And he is playing on a stacked, contending Thunder squad. 5 of 9 from the field. He finished with 2 boards, an assist, and a steal there. Only 1 turnover. Not bad at all. Team stats, could have shot the ball better from 3 and could have taken a little bit more threes as well. 44% from the field, 33% from deep, finished with 41 boards, 25 assists. We're passing the ball well. We're shooting the ball well off of catches. That's nice to see. But defensively, we were quiet, all right? Only 4 steals and 6 blocks. And like I mentioned, we had some hustle stats, but usually we're finishing with double digits in one of those categories, I feel like. That's what we've gotten used to, and so we got to do that again. But still, scoring 116, I'll take that. It was just one of those games, like I mentioned. I feel like once we lost Chet, no one really cared about the game anymore. I personally didn't. I just cared, was Chet okay? All right? Because once I saw him get hurt, I knew we were going to lose momentum because the Warriors, they would have now have the size advantage against us. We'd be a really small team. all right? And they had experience over us in those regards. So at that point, I was just like, it's fine, win or lose. As long as Chet's okay, I'm fine. Still waiting on that. I'll update you guys as soon as we know that. Don't worry about it. It's just one of those things we're going to have to keep our eye on it. But like I mentioned, there are still positives to look at, like Dub and Cason Wallace, AJ Mitchell, 3 guys that played very well tonight in my eyes. All right? Coming back in the fourth quarter, down by 30 without a center. Another positive to look at, all right? Got to look at the positives on this kind of performance that we've had, especially with what happened early in the game. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think. Something that stood out to you, you're like, man, that's really nice to see, or something else where you're like, man, even without Chet Holmgren, if we did blah, 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 this and this and that, we would have won this game. Let me know in the comments section below. I'll see you guys in the next video.